421. Under investigation 1. There we go.
There are two common measures of circular motion. The angle of rotation about the center of the circle is a unit of time. It's called its angular velocity. It is commonly measured in units like revolutions per minute. The distance traveled at each point on the circle in a unit of time is called its linear velocity. It is commonly measured in units like miles per hour and meters per second. As you work on problems in this investigation, look for answers the following questions. What angular and linear velocity are related to circular motion? How do mechanical systems connect the motion of gravity? Follow instructions.
Bicycle gear ratio. One familiar example of a transmission connecting moving circles is the gear mechanism used in bicycles. For example, suppose that a mountain bike is set up so that the metal pedal sprocket in use has 42 teeth, and the rear wheel sprocket in use has 14 teeth of the same size.
So they give you that picture down there, so it shows you where the pedal sprocket is and the rear sprocket. For number 1, it says, consider the given teeth per sprocket information above. Letter A, what does this information tell you about the circumferences of the two sprockets? They are different, that's a good point. So the pedal sprocket has how many teeth?
42 teeth.
Yep, 42 teeth. And it's the rear wheel sprocket they call it. Rear wheel sprocket had 14 teeth. Thank you, whoever said that. Alright, so now, the pedal sprocket compared to the rear wheel sprocket. Their circumferences, how would they be different?
Rear wheel sprocket's circumference is a lot smaller than the pedal sprocket.
The rear wheel sprocket should be a lot smaller, or circumference should be smaller than the pedal sprocket. How much smaller?
3 times.
Okay, so wait. Jeremy, you're right. Jamie, you're right. But we just got to put it in the right context. Okay. Where are you getting 3 times, Tim?
Because 42 is 3 times 14.
So is the rear wheel sprocket 3 times as big as the pedal sprocket?
Small.
It's 3 times as small. Okay, so the pedal sprocket's 3 times as big as the rear wheel sprocket. Did I say that right? The pedal sprocket? The pedal sprocket is 3 times larger than the rear wheel sprocket.
So which sprockets is on 3 times?
There you go. That's what you are right down to letter A.
Damn. Cody, it's like
Cody, you can say it really loud so we can all hear.
So the pedal sprocket is going to be 3 times larger than circumference and real.
You alright? The pedal sprocket circumference and this thing is not aligned, I'll tell you that. It's if you don't align it, so like when I hold the marker here, it actually starts writing over there. And, well, I'll do it after. Calm down. Okay, if you don't want to work. 3 times as big. Oops. As large or big as the rear wheel sprocket. Okay, does that make sense? Letter B. Suppose the rider is pedaling at an angular velocity of 80 revolutions per minute. What is the angular velocity of the rear sprocket? What's your guess?
Is it 1,120?
That's low. It's a little large.
I said 14.
So if the pedal sprocket's turning 80 times, so let's say this pedal sprocket turns once. How many times should the little sprocket turn?
3 times.
3 times. So if this one turned 80, how many times should the little one turn?
240.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely. can't just see
Cody.
anybody's there.
Cody.
Cody. Okay, so think about it like this, Cody. If the pedal sprocket turns once, how many times does the rear wheel sprocket have to turn? So if the pedal sprocket turned 80 times, how many times would the rear wheel sprocket have to turn?
You gonna type that in real quick?
240.
Good stuff, Cody.
No.
So 240 rotations per minute, or revolutions per minute. For double I, what is the angular velocity of the rear wheel? Rear wheel. So how many revolutions is the rear wheel going around?
One.
I say.
So the thing you gotta think about is, what's turning the rear wheel?
The rear wheel sprocket.
Okay, so if it goes around, if the rear wheel sprocket goes around once, how many times does the tire go around?
Once.
Okay, so now go back to the problem.
240.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't
It
make
makes perfect sense. It's basically the same thing. You're just attaching a wheel to the sprocket.
There you go. Cody?
You're right, Cody. You really are
Cody's on
just
top of game today.
you're on top of your game.
I forgot this.
So is this a good thing?
Pedal sprocket.
That if you're only pedaling 80 times, that your tire's actually going around 240 times?
That's a good thing. That's a great
You
thing.
must be cooking.
Actually, I kind of wonder. I don't know how fast you're going.
Let's figure it.
You will in the investigation. All right. Any questions from number one?
Can we do
That was a sinister laugh right there. Like, oh.
No questions? All right, so you're working on 2 through 6 today. And even last hour, they almost got through 6, and they took a lot longer to ask questions. Go ahead, in your groups, go ahead and start working. Your group is over here. Trying to make sure. Quickly.
You don't need to be touched.